close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
Hey guys, today on the podcast we got Jason Sangha. He's currently playing for the Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash and is playing for New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield and the One Day Cup. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Jason, he's got a great career coming up, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Oh,
Welcome to the show, Jason Sangha. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
it's a tough one. It's actually funny you asked me that. Obviously during this isolation period, I was going through some old photos and some old stuff during primary school, and actually one of them said that I was going. One thing I wrote down was I wanted to be a professional cricketer, but I wanted to study psychology in university, and I've never thought about studying psychology ever since that time in year 6. But yeah, I guess you could say my dream came true in year 6 when I wanted to be a professional cricketer.
Yeah. How would your oldest friend describe you?
My oldest friend. Oh, jeez. I think they'd call me pretty funny, but that's what I would like to think, anyways. No, I think a lot of my friends have known me for being a pretty hard-working type of guy. I've always been, ever since I was a little kid, I've always worked hard at everything I wanted to do. It wasn't just cricket, but I played a lot of other sports growing up as well. I played a lot of basketball. So I was still like training basketball like religiously every day, and heaps of swimming, and I was training that really hard. So I like to think they say I'm pretty hardworking.
Yeah. What are you most proud of?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's a couple of things that come to my mind. I think the first one's probably getting my baggy blue for New South Wales, and probably my debut game with the Sydney Thunder. Probably tough to probably be those 2 days. One is obviously getting a New South Wales baggy cap, and I think for anyone getting your baggy cap for your state is a massive opportunity. And then of course, my BBL debut over in Canberra against the Melbourne Stars, something I won't ever forget as well. And I think that ranges down to even the Under-19s World Cup, sort of being named captain and getting the team all the way to the final. And although we didn't win the final, that would have been pretty special if we did. But that Indian side was they were crazy. They were really, really good. So yeah, I think I'd say those three things. But I think in particular the New South Wales debut and the Sydney Thunder.
Yeah. How do you handle hard times?
I guess the way I like to handle them, I guess I've been really fortunate that I've had really great parents through my whole, I guess, obviously my whole life, but especially in my career that's just started. They've always had my back. I think that's number one. I think having a really good support base and a good network of friends and family has really made sure that's kept my feet on the ground. And if anything was ever going through a hard time, I know I can always count on them. So I think I'm really lucky. I've got a really good close group of family and friends, and a really good support network that I can go to in certain times of when things are getting a bit hard. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we're still playing cricket, and cricket's like, you think about it and you can have a couple of days that are bad or sometimes that are hard, but at the end of the day, like I'm still going to do the job that I want to do, and that's play cricket. So sometimes just a bit of gratitude every now and then is a healthy reminder.
Yeah. What was it like getting your first professional contract so young?
Yeah, it was strange. I was actually in this exact desk when I got my first professional contract. This is my study room. I'm back home up in Newcastle at the moment, and so I was still in school. So I was in would have been year 11. So I was about 16, and I was actually just studying, and I got a call from the GM of New South Wales Cricket. A guy called David Moore rang me and said, firstly, just want to congratulate me on what a great season I had so far. And then offered me a rookie contract for the following year. So it was pretty crazy. You didn't really think much about it at first. Kind of set in when I'd go to Sydney during my sort of school holidays and start training with the guys. That's when it kind of really kicked in a little bit. Like, oh, I'm actually here, like, you know, training with New South Wales guys and being a part of this group. I'll never forget the day I went to, I think it was about a couple of days after I had Moses Enriquez messaged me on Facebook, and he just said, like, welcome to the club. And I thought that was a cool thing that ever happened to me. Mozzie's been one of my idols since I was a kid. So I remember playing, because I used to go to Hunter Sports up here in Newcastle, and we used to always verse Endeavour Sports Eye, which I believe Mo went to. There's a park named after him, the Moses Enriquez Oval. And like, I remember playing there and stuff like that. I remember, you know, of course, like, Moses is like one of the most, I guess, to be fair, words can't really describe, but he's one of the most outstanding cricket players I've ever played with and against. But I think just as a person, he's one of the best blokes as well. So I think for him to, you know, reach out and just send me a message, I was like ecstatic. I was a 16-year-old kid who just got a message from like their favorite player ever. So yeah, it was great. It was crazy. I never really kicked in after till I started training with the guys. That's when it really sort of sunk in, and it was really cool.
Yeah. Was it hard getting the comparisons to Sachin Tendulkar and Ricky Ponting?
Oh, most definitely. I'm absolutely nowhere near those two guys. So yeah, that was crazy. I think that's just a bit of media hype that came with it. I wasn't ever expecting that, but yeah, I mean, I don't think my name and those two names should ever be in the same sentence. They're on a completely different level than I am. But look, you take the good with the bad, and at that time, there was plenty of good things being said, and I always took it as, you know, they could be saying a lot of other things. There could be worse things that said, they're comparing me to Sachin and Ricky Ponting. So, you know, I'll take that. But yeah, it was a healthy reminder that, you know, like, I'm firstly nowhere near that level of greatness that they've to have achieved. But you know, if people are thinking me in that way, then I mean, fair enough. Like, I'll take it. Of course, I'll take it. But yeah, as I said, at least it wasn't anything. At least it wasn't as much criticism. So, you know, you see guys at the back end of their careers getting absolutely sprayed, or media's going into them about, you know, how they're batting and how they're playing. And I guess I was quite fortunate that my first sort of entry into domestic cricket was quite a nice, smooth one.
Yeah. How's it been playing for the Sydney Thunder?
Yeah, look, the Thunder's been amazing. I've been with the Thunder for a few years now. I think going into my 5th year. I've played 4 years with the Thunder. 2 years I was as a rookie, and not the season I went, but the season before. That was my first year on the full contract list. So yeah, I was lucky to pretty much play every game last year. Obviously, it's always disappointing when you're not playing in terms of last year's season. But yeah, look, the club's been amazing. They took me when I was a young kid. Some of my greatest mates play the Thunder with me as well. So I think the best thing about it, it's such a massive family, the Sydney Thunder. We pride ourselves on making sure that, you know, we stay as a close group. We do everything as a team. But I think the most important thing they do that I've seen, probably better than some of the other Big Bash teams, is how we try and connect with our fans. That's one thing that we really try to do. And I know a lot of teams at the end of the Big Bash games go around and sign autographs, but for us, we've always made sure that, you know, we don't want to leave one kid or one person who missed out of getting our signature. We want to keep making sure that we keep connecting our fans. And we obviously invite our VIP members and all that to our training sessions and all that type of stuff. And then obviously the game day stuff as well. So yeah, everything's really good. I love how the club's structured and how it's run, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. What was it like playing against that England team in the practice matches before the Ashes in 2017?
2017. It's a long time ago now. Been 3 years. Yeah, look, I was I just finished school, and I remember I had 2 more exams to go for my Year 12 exams, and I got a call to say, I was going to be playing against England in a couple of practice games. And at the start, I was a bit like, wow, like, okay, I've still got 2 more exams left. So I was like, that kind of I guess you could say my priority almost changed a little bit. I was kind of stressing a bit more towards playing into England, knowing I still had 2 more exams left to finish school. And I think the best thing at that age was I didn't really care as much. I think I didn't put so much pressure on myself. And after the first game, I didn't do too well in Adelaide. I probably got a pair of low scores. Then I went to Townsville and I got a second baller, I think, in the first innings. Second ball duck in the first innings, and sort of came out in the second innings. And yeah, I don't know. I just sort of just tried to take it on. I felt like I was probably giving the bowlers a bit too much respect, and I felt like I was playing the bowlers a lot more than just watching the ball and playing the ball. So I don't know. I just sort of just thought, like, who cares? Like, just go out and bat. Like, I'm just gonna take it on and just try and see what happens. And I guess when you're a young kid, you don't really think too much about it. We didn't go into like the team meetings of like how does each person bowl. We always watch them on TV. Like James Anderson, Stuart Broad. Like, don't think we need to go into much analysis of what they do. We've been seeing how well they've been dominant in world cricket for however many years. So for me, it was just like cool, just taking on, have a bit of a dip, and I kind of just went to a bit of a different strategy than what I was in the first 3 innings. And then lucky I got some runs. So maybe it's a strategy that could work for me in the future. But it was nice just to be a young kid and just go out and just like not try and think too much, just go out and play. And that's where I probably reap the rewards that day.
Yeah. What's it been like playing for New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield and the JLT Cup?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I was lucky enough to make my my one-day debut this year. Oh, sorry, the season that just went. And yeah, playing for New South Wales, it's always a privilege. I think for me and a lot of kids in New South Wales, we dream of playing for the Sixers or the Thunder, but the main one is always playing for New South Wales. And for me, that's all I ever want to do. I was quite lucky, actually, in my club in Newcastle, which is Wallsend. We had probably 2 or 3 guys that had gone on to play a little bit of first-class cricket. And that was either for other states like Queensland, or that was for New South Wales. And it might have been 1 game, might have been 10 games. But at the end of the day, the amount of respect they had from other guys, not just in our club, but their name in Newcastle was such highly regarded because of their achievement to play first-class cricket. I think as a young kid, that's all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to try and get to that level and have my name recognised as much as they did, only in Newcastle. So for me, that was a big thing. That was for me, that was the motivation to really try and play cricket for New South Wales. I know a lot of kids, and even myself, like we always dream of getting the baggy green and playing for Australia. But for me, my first one was just New South Wales because of guys I'd seen in Newcastle and how much they were respected amongst other cricketers and other clubs, and how well they were respected in general in Newcastle. So for me, that was my motivation to try and keep going. And when I got to eventually play for New South Wales, it's it's amazing. Every time you step on the field in New South Wales, there's a lot of pride. Takes you back to your memories of how hard it took to train, and the days that my dad would continuously throw me balls, and the long drives we'd make to Sydney, and everything. It takes back a lot of memories. And it's funny how just a single cap, just a blue baggy cap, could make you think about all the blood, sweat, tears, everything. So it's funny. It's a crazy thing, cricket, but Yeah, it's an absolute privilege.
Yeah. What was your path to professional cricket?
What was my what?
What was your path to professional cricket?
My path to professional cricket. Also, I was my path was, I guess, through the underage system. So I was very lucky. I missed out my first year for the under-15s New South Wales team, but my right year, my top age, I made the team, and we went to Darwin for the under-15s national carnival. From there, I was lucky. I got selected for, I guess you could say, the Australian under-15s team, but we called it the under-16s team because they were going to play the next year. So it was the Australian under-16s team from that national carnival. Just so I started, there's 3 national carnivals. There's 15s, 17s, and 19s. So that under-16s Australian team, that was to play at the under-17s national carnival. It was so kind of like a new. They've done it now. I think they first introduced it in my year, so I was quite lucky. So we got to play against the under-17 states, so New South Wales, Queensland, WA, and we're a year younger, but we're, I guess, the Australian team. So the best from the best of the age below. And from there, I had a really good tournament. Scored a lot of runs, and I was lucky enough to make the Australian under-17s team. So that was quite cool. So I made the Australian team for my age, but also made the Australian team for the year above. Then I guess from that, the under-17s Australian team would play at the under-19s national carnival. Same sort of concept. But now we're about 2 years younger. So yeah, so we played against the under-19s team. So once again, Queensland, Victoria, Tassie, all those states. And from there, I actually had a reasonable carnival as well. I scored 100 and an 80 odd and a couple of 30s. But they liked the way that I played, and they saw my 100 and my 80. And I was only 16 years old, but then I made from there I made the under 19s Australian team. So I guess in 1 year I made the 16s, 17s, and 19s all in a row. I was a 16-year-old kid. From there, with the Australian under 19s team, that was a World Cup year. So we were actually supposed to go to Bangladesh for the 2016 ICC under 19 World Cup, but because of restrictions and because of security measures, we weren't able to go. But instead, we went to Dubai and we had a little tournament there against New Zealand and Pakistan. And I was lucky enough for the first game I didn't play for Australia. We were playing against New Zealand. I didn't play that first game, but our keeper and our number 6 batter, and who was actually my roommate during that trip, a guy called Brooke Guest, who's over in England now. He's playing over in England, but he broke his thumb. My mum's starting to ring me, but he broke his thumb on the first game, and the coach told me, he said, "Oh, you're gonna play the next game because Guessy just broke his thumb." And I remember, because Guessy was my roommate, I remember he was devastated. I think it was like really early, because we batted first, I'm pretty sure. And when we bowled, obviously he's a keeper, pretty sure it would have been like fifth or sixth ball. He just went to catch it and just went smack bang straight on the top of the thumb. So I played the next game against Pakistan. We were struggling. We would have been 5 for maybe 100 at max, or maybe even less. And then I was lucky enough to go on and get 100. And I was banging with the tail at the time. So once again, I'm a 16-year-old kid, so I wasn't really thinking too much about, who's that from the shed? If I get out now, what's going to happen? I was just kind of just taking it on. I was just running out bowls, trying to hit him, and I was just I completely forgot that the scoreboard existed, and we were 4-5 for nothing. But I was lucky enough to go on and get 100, and I had really good support from a couple other guys down the bottom. And then from there, from that series, that was over in January. Came back to reality, which was school. And I didn't want to be there because I just had the most amazing, I guess, couple of months playing in all the national carnivals. Then obviously for Australia under 19s, And coming back to school was like, geez, like this is reality. But then, yeah, I guess getting the call from Dave Moore a couple of months after that, then got my rookie contract. So that was really it. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your goals for the next couple of years?
Geez, a couple of years is a long time. I mean, if you told me a couple of years ago that I was going to be, I guess, where I am now, I'd be absolutely thrilled. So for me, I guess a couple of years is I don't know what's going to happen in a couple of years, and I guess for me, I can only really take it one year at a time. I guess I really want to making sure that from a skills perspective, I've been really working hard on my bowling. I know a lot of people see me as probably more as a batter, and they haven't really seen me bowl a lot. I've bowled a bit in shield cricket, a little bit of stuff in the one day stuff, and I think I bowled one over for the Sydney Thunder. So for me, that's an art I'm trying to learn and try and do a lot more. So that does make you a lot more valuable for any team. So for me, that's definitely my first priority in terms of from a skills point of view. And I guess from a team point of view, like of course I obviously want to play for Australia and all this type of stuff as well. But for me, I just want to play as many games as I can for New South Wales, and I love to play the whole season for New South Wales. I love to play the whole one day season, hopefully all the Big Bash season as well. So for me, that's my motivation. It was a nice, I guess, I wouldn't say it was a setback, but it was nice to, I guess, be reminded of how quickly things can change. From playing 11 Shield games and a final to only one Shield game last year, and playing, I think I played 12 out of 14 Big Bash games last year to none. That's a really healthy reminder, and just to show that you have to keep working hard continuously. And remember, cricket isn't a sprint; it's a marathon. So just making sure I want to keep getting better, and hopefully I can be cemented back in those teams shortly. So that just comes with a lot of hard work, a lot of persistence, a lot of training, and hopefully things take care of themselves there.
Yeah. How are you keeping yourself busy and fit during this time?
I'm actually really lucky. So you probably can't see through there. Maybe not. But there's actually there's a first grade soccer ground literally right next to my house. So that's how I've been doing all my running. And there's cricket nets there as well. So I guess the cricket and running part's been taken care of, and we've been really lucky. We get to loan some stuff out from New South Wales Cricket. So I've got a couple of weights as well. And I bought some when I was about 16, 17. Me and my dad bought a lot of weights and we left them here, but we never used them. But now they're getting a great use. So there's always going to be a time for something. So that's how I've been keeping myself pretty busy. That's all I've really been doing, to be honest. Just a lot of training. When I'm bored, I'll probably go for a run, or I might go downstairs and do a gym session. And when dad comes home, we do some training. So that's really just been the schedule of the last, I guess, how many weeks? Almost 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So that's all I've been doing, just keeping fit and training, and getting ready for our own preseason training for the Blues.
Yeah. Who's the worst teammate to room with through your career, and why?
Jeez. Worst roommate to room with. Worst teammate to room with. Okay. Oh man. I don't know who the worst is. I've roomed with Arjun now a lot. Me and him are quite close. I room with him not just in Blues and Thunder setups, but we've been roommates for a lot of other Australian sort of setups, whether it's camps or training camps or wherever they are. He's not a bad roommate at all. He's actually a really good roommate, but a couple of times he's like woke me up on a rest day when he's woke up before me, and people know me for like loving a big sleep-in. I'm a massive sleep-in person, especially when I have my days off. So, but he's always been a bit of a pest. He's woke up a couple of times like that. So that's the only reason I'd say he's the bit of a pest. But he's actually pretty good. A lot of guys are really good. I think I might be the worst roommate, to be honest. So yeah.
What's the best word that can describe you right now?
Right now, tired. No. Probably, I don't know. What am I going to describe me right now? Jeez. I'd say excited. You know, I'm on the MG podcast. I think I'm pretty excited. So I'd say excited.
Thanks. What advice would you give a 12-year-old today?
Oh, I think when I was 12. I think enjoy it. Like, it's kind of, I guess it's a bit of a cliche. People say, "Oh, like you've got to enjoy it. You always got to enjoy it." But for me, like, I think as I've gotten older into my career, and I'm not old at all by any means. I'm 20 years old, but the longer I've been playing cricket for, the more I've realised how much you actually have to enjoy the game. There's so many ups and downs in cricket. There's countless of times where umpires make wrong decisions, pitches are bad, you get caught by an absolute freakish catch, or so many variables you can't control. And I think you have to enjoy those moments. You got to try and find a way to, when you do have good days, to really, really appreciate them, because good days don't always happen. So yeah, for me, just enjoying it. Like, I know when I was 12 years old, I used to love my cricket, and I still do, of course, but I could not wait to like go to training with like all my mates. And that was the most exciting times, going to training. And I think as you get older, not that training becomes a chore, because I still love training, but sometimes I wish I had the enthusiasm and the excitement of going to training than when I was 12. So that's my biggest advice. Just keep enjoying the game. Don't I know how excited I was at 12 years old to go training or go to play. Like, when it was raining, like on a Saturday, like I'd almost cry. It was the worst day ever when it was raining. When cricket was supposed to be played, or to be fair, any sport. Basketball was lucky because we always played indoors, but baseball, for example, as well. So yeah, like sometimes I just got to keep reminding myself of how excited I was during those times when I was a bit younger. That's the type of attitude I need to keep bringing to me now, 8 years on.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on today, Jason.
Thanks heaps, Max.
That was the podcast with Jason Sangha. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry way downtown.